Good afternoon, folks. It is time. Let's get trading. I am Pepper. This is Godly Trading. Welcome to the live trading room. Remind me to tell you later about Isaac and his amazing live trading room. Today's topic, which is which market should you trade, actually comes from directly from a scripture that I was listening to this morning from Tony Evans. So let's take a look at that real quick. Let me make this happen over here. Hit that button. There we go. So this is from 1 Corinthians chapter 3, and it's talking about divisions in the church. So it says here, you can't read that. Here we go. It says here in verse 4, when one says, I am of Paul, another says, I am of Apollos, are you not carnal? Who then is Paul? Who then is Apollos? But ministers through whom you have believed, as the Lord gave each to one. I, meaning Paul, planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So then neither he who plants is anything, nor he who waters, but God gives the increase. At the time, there was kind of a division in the early church between the sort of Paul's camp and Apollos' camp and Peter's camp. And it got me to thinking about all of the sectarianism, the groups and the cliques that we get into in trading. Oh, I trade futures, I trade Forex, I trade options and stocks and whatever. I trade wheat. I scalp, bless your hearts. And it got me to thinking about this idea that we have. I said, well, what is the right strategy for me to trade? What is the right market for? What's the best market? And we go through this in the comments. Sorry, in the comments. Comments popped up, and then my producer will show them to me if they're necessary. Oh, hello. It also came from Miss Hadassah here. She asked me the question about, do I trade stocks or Forex and whatnot? One of the topics we talk about in our challenge. Challenge starts next week. Mr. Producer, if you can find the banner that scrolls across the bottom that has the URL for Trading for Family Freedom. One of the things we talk about in there is how do you pick your strategy? How do you pick your trade plan, your style, your win, and all those things? Very critical. There we go. Join the challenge. Thank you. Boy, it's so nice having my producer. It is really fantastic. I appreciate him. One of the easiest ways to do it is to take a look at your life and say, when should I trade? When can I trade? How much time do I want to devote to trading? And those questions will steer you towards a market. And the beautiful thing about trading is that trading is trading. And strategies that work on stocks will work on Forex and futures and wheat. I've never traded wheat. I have traded copper once. Traded natural gas once. I traded silver and gold, like a Burl Ives song. That's about as much as I get. Oh, I trade oil. Take it back. I do trade that as well, commodity-wise. We're going to take a look today at Frank, and we're going to apply him to areas other than Forex. Some of you out there might be wondering, why is he always talking about Forex? That's just what I like. That's what I'm comfortable with Forex. I'm a Baptist, and we don't like change. So inertia has kicked in. That's what I trade. But today I want to show you through the application of the Frank strategy. By the way, Mr. Producer, there should be a link for, if you did not get a copy of the Frank strategy, just go to this link here. There you go, and you can download it yourself. Or you can just comment the word Frank in the comments, and we'll send it to you. One of those two. I'm going to show you today through different time frames and different markets that trading is trading. And all it takes is the application of discipline and consistency, and anything can work. So let's dive right in. We've looked at the verse for today already. Economic calendar is relatively clear this week. If you are going to be day trading anything out there, I don't see anything on the horizon that's going to affect anybody, at least not in the next few days. Usually Fridays is a big information dump, but I'm not seeing anything in the U.S. markets. If you're trading Forex, the Canadian GDP is the only thing you really have to worry about there. But at the end, I'll update you on a trade we took yesterday on Bob, and then some of the things that are happening on Forest. But let's just pick up the ball and run with this idea that trading is trading. Any market can work. And let me show you how Frank is applied to. Let's go with stocks. Hadassah asked and I hope I am pronouncing your name correctly. She asked if these would work on stocks. She said she trades options. And I'm going to show you that as well. So switching over to Frank. As you know, we've got several trades running already. All the ones that are listed here in blue are our open trades. Let's take a look at them. These are the ones that I have real money here through my City Trader Imperium, which is a prop firm out of Dubai. As you can see, I've got all the non-New Zealand pairs are positive, and the New Zealand pairs are relatively negative. 2 new ones today, by the way. We'll get there in just a second. So the oil trade is over with. It was a win. We can get rid of that. Aussie CAD is looking up. Aussie Swiss is okay. We've lost some of momentum there. Aussie Yen, brand new setup today that Frank gave us. So you can, and so this is how it's traded. Remember, the entry is the high of today. The stop loss is the low of today or yesterday. And I chose the low of yesterday. Let me show you that setup. What did I say it was? Aussie Yen. That's right. You said, well, hang on. I thought we were in Aussie Yen already. This is one of those things. We got into it last Monday, and we hit our first take profit, or we hit our take profit on this thing on Friday, and now we're right back in. We got another signal. The signals can come whenever. So we're back as a pending order on this thing, and we'll see what happens. 1 second. Sorry, I've lost train of thought. Anyway, Euro Aussie, we're okay on that one. And we have a new pending order on Pound Swiss. Okay. And then all the Kiwi pairs. Euro Kiwi, honestly, again, I missed my exit on this because of news event. And I just missed it because I was going too fast. And I should have gotten out on this day right here. On all of my Kiwi pairs, I should have gotten out. They haven't stopped out yet. And right now I'm not doing anything. By the way, you'll notice if you sign up for the free PDF download of Frank, one of the ideas to try, there's some variations to the rules, is say, hey, what happens if I'm in a trade and my main indicator, which is this HMA, changes color on me? Well, one thing you could try is, what if I just get out when that happens? If I'd gotten out this day on this candle right here, I would have, I wish it would stop doing that. Hover over. See if I can get this, make this work. So when it changed color was right here. I would have gotten out on this day, and I would have gotten out right about entry. So that's absolutely a rule that you can try out. So now let me show you on. Let's dive back into the world of U.S. markets, back into the world of stocks, and let me show you some things that I've looked at for using the Frank strategy. All right. And by the way, Mr. Producer, if I am engrossed and I miss a comment, just pop in and let me know I missed a comment. So we're going to go with Frank, and we're going to go over to Triple Qs, which is the NASDAQ. And I looked at that this morning on the 1-hour chart. And I sort of back tested this. I went back a couple of months and you can see here. Let me just show you all the trades that I found. This is just trading the Triple Qs. Now, you can trade it as an ETF, just like a regular stock. You could trade it on the futures market. Somebody remind me, this is NQ, right? When on the futures market, this is NQ exclamation point would be the continuing contract on the NASDAQ. I believe that's correct. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. What is the actual ticker symbol for the futures version of the NASDAQ? But anyway, as you can see here, I just went back to December. Why December? Because. And we had 11 total signals on Frank on the 1-hour chart of the NASDAQ. We had 11 signals. We had 4 wins, 1 loss, and 6 no entries. NQ or MNQ. Mark, would MNQ be the mini contract of the NQ? We are reaching the extent of my practical knowledge on futures. If you want to know about futures, I'll bring my brother Pierre on here, and he can wax eloquent about futures. But it's the one market that I've never put any effort into to trading personally. But anyway, we've got, like I said, 11 trade setups, 4 wins, 1 loss, and 6 no. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. 6 no trades. And that's one of the things I love about this strategy. I absolutely love about it, but is that it keeps you out. For all trend trading strategies, one of the holy grails is, hey, how do I avoid the trades that were going to be a loss? Well, this one has a beautiful logic behind it, which is this trade here would have been a loss, except you never got entered. You never got triggered, right? Your entry's up here and price never got up there. I love that about it. It is so simple. So here we go. 1 hour chart of the NQ or the triple Q, and it's an 80% win rate. Just so you, for reference, I'm currently sitting at a 78% win rate on my prop firm account, having taken 23 trades. Oh, there we go. 23 trades. So where are we? Right here. All right. Let's look at Apple. Let's just trade an actual stock here. So let's go to Apple because everybody loves Apple as a company stock to trade. I'm not a big fan of the iPhone. Everything here just seems backwards to me. And a Mac is even worse when it comes to literally the mouse wheel scrolls the wrong way. Anyway, Apple was the worst of the bunch that I went through today. We had 12 total setups, and you can see them here. Again, this is the 1 hour chart. We had 12 total setups on this thing over the course of, when did I stop? I stopped back December the 5th, mid-December. Well, I went back to the beginning of December. So what's that? December, January, February. So that's 3 full months. We had 12 signals, and it was split across the board. We had 4 wins, 4 losses, and 4 no setups, no entries, nothing triggered. Okay, that's all right. Again, that's a 1 hour chart of an actual stock. And by the way, as with any stock that you want to trade, like Apple's at $200 some odd a share. Let's go right here. Well, what if I don't have the money to? Well, number one, you're shorting. So what if they're not giving me leverage? Well, this is 260. Just buy the 260 puts there. You get it. You get 100 shares for $600, $500. What is it? Let's go with it. Okay, price is not there right now. Let me look. This is I'd ask about options. So let's say that you were for whatever reason wanting to get on the puts right now. We're at 272. So go a month out and look at the 272s. We could we're buying the puts. So you're looking at $7 per contract so it'd be $700. It's way more affordable than shorting $270 stock. All right. Lastly, look at NVIDIA. This one I actually went for you people who like the shorter time frames. It went all the way down to the 15-minute chart. I know. Oh my goodness, Pepper went all the way down to the 15-minute chart. This morning, Isaac and his amazing live trading room. All right, Isaac, if you're out there, I just loved the experience this morning. Hitting the pause button real quick on demonstrating this. Isaac trades futures with prop firms. I think it's Apex, trading the NQ every day, and it was so frenetic. He was amazing. He prayed ahead of time, beautiful prayer, and he's like, "All right, we're going to get in this thing," and he's giving the setups. We're doing this. All right, it's working in our favor. All right, let's take some profit off the table. Okay. 2 contracts left. We're taking one off the table now. Okay, letting that trail. All right, all right. Everybody take your profit. Get out. We're good. We're done. 15 minutes in, we've made our $600 for the day. Just take the win, declare victory, and go home. Go do something else with your life. Don't sit here in front of the charts all day long. Don't give it back. It was just such an amazing experience, and I was worn out. I am way too old to day trade futures. I think I just swing trading is more my style. Swing trading and a port swing, like a country song. So back to NVIDIA trading on the 15-minute chart. Now this one I only went back 1 month, so I stopped my back test at February the 1st. And you can see all of these in here. And again, I'm not advocating that you trade the Frank strategy. I'm simply saying that it works across, that any strategy applied with discipline and consistency can work in any market. So the numbers here. On the 15-minute chart for 1 month, we had 12 setups. It's really interesting that we had 11 and 12 setups across the board. We had 12 setups. We had 6 wins and 3 losses and 3 no entries. So that's a 67% win rate. So if I can do my math correctly here, we had that's 5 and 8 and 9. 5 plus 8 plus 9 is 22 trades total amongst these 3. And we had 8 and 6 is 4. So 14 divided by 22. So of the three combined, it was a 63.6% win rate on the 15-minute chart and the 1 hour combined. That's just three Wall Street products, right? You had the NASDAQ as a whole and then two individual stocks. And all it is just looking at this thing and saying, all right, here's my signal. Again, strategy, dead simple. Here's my signal, entry, stop loss, let it go. And then whatever happens, happens. What was our verse? Our verse was, who is Paul? Who is Apollos? They're just ministers. Paul plants, Apollos waters, God gives the increase. What is the trading application? Trade your plan, follow your rules, and whatever happens is in God's hands. You say, well, is God in control of the market? No, God is in control of your life. God is the one who helped you create this system in the first place. Trust in yourself, trust in your plan, because both of those are outgrowths of your trust in the one who called you to this in the first place. So I just wanted to show you here that any system can work by and large in any market. You may have to tweak slightly. Where was I looking at? I had a win question mark. This was a big win. And this is a prime example. I'm going to come back to this big win here. I had a win question mark on one of these, or maybe it was a loss question mark. All right, it wasn't that one. Maybe it was Apple. 1 second. And this was one of those situations. Oh, here we go. Loss. That was a loss, potentially, okay, based on where we're going to end. No, there was one that was a win question mark. Here it is. All right. Prime example of maybe your system might need to be adjusted. So, what is this? Apple and 1 hour chart. No, excuse me. So, why do I have to say is win question mark? Shoot, that wasn't it. It was a different one. The point being, let's say it was this candle right here. So your entry is, that's right, God is in control. Absolutely. Let's say your entry is right here. Right? We're doing our setup. We get a signal on this candle, and here's our entry. Well, the way stocks work is they can gap open. So depending on whether or not your trade would have triggered, I mean, it opened down here. So where's your trigger going to be at? That's the kind of situation where you might need to make slight adjustments to your system based on a different market. I mean, a slight adjustment. I was talking to, how did that work? Okay, click in here, cross one. There we go. I was talking to someone this morning in our coaching call about trading with a prop firm. And what I was saying was the best approach to using a prop firm is get to the end of building your trade plan, your system, your everything. I won't go down the road of talking about trade plans because I can go on a rant. That's what I love teaching. But anyway, get to the end of that and then go in search of a prop firm that fits your rules the best. And what I mean by the best is a prop firm that doesn't require anything more than a few minor tweaks to your strategy to follow and abide by their rules. Case in point, I traded with the Fivers. I love the Fivers. And one of their rules was that at the time, it was something along the lines of they had a max risk per trade per currency, something like that. So I was accustomed to my risk management was 1% per trade. Well, I go over there. Okay, that's not going to work with them. I need to reduce it to 0.5% per trade. Minor tweak, still needed to do that to fit into their rules. But if the prop firm said, well, you can't hold over the weekend, I'm just not picking that prop firm, right? I'm a swing trader. I have to be able to hold over the weekend. So there's nothing wrong with saying, well, let me see what trading stocks does for me. Okay, well, it's not a continuous market. So what do I do about gaps and the fact that I have this buy stop or sell stop here on Frank? Well, you're going to have to figure that out. And you have to put your reading glasses on first and foremost. Figure it out. What happens in a case where your buy stop is here and price opens here? maybe it opens and you're fine, right? You get plenty of room for your profit. Maybe it opens and now you've squeezed out the trade and there's not enough profit. Do you cancel it? Those kinds of things. So when I say that any strategy can work on any market, in general, that's true. Sure, small adjustments, but picking a new market shouldn't require an overhaul of your system. I don't know why you would say, well, I just really want to trade futures. If you've got a system that's working over here on wheat, right? Then, and it's making you what you need to make, trading futures just because you want to doesn't seem logical. But if you have a system that works over here on stocks, and so well, let's see what it looks like on Forex. Okay, does fairly well on Forex. What about over here on NQ futures? Okay, there's nothing wrong with adding to layer. We talked about it yesterday with Frank Jr. By the way, if you're interested in the Frank Jr. trading strategy, I need to type it up. It's in the works. Probably will have that by the end of the week. So if anybody comments the word junior on these things at the end of the week, you'll get a copy of Frank Jr. But again, the point being, hey, Frank Jr. comes along as a layer on top of Frank, and it just adds to. Well, I trade, excuse me, I trade this Frank strategy with Forex, but also with gold and also with oil. And I wouldn't have a problem trading any of the indices on here. Just try it, test it, and if it adds a couple of percentage points per month, why wouldn't you do that? So, what is the best market? Junior, please. Yes, I absolutely will, Mark. Just a function of typing it up. I would ask my wife, but she did tell me that if I added anything more to her to-do list, that she would need an alibi and bail money, one or the other. So it'll be a few days before I can type it up, but absolutely we'll have it done by the end of the week. One of the things we're going to talk about next week in the challenge, and when I mention the word challenge, it should be a code, a whistle for my producer to have the scroll across the bottom of the screen. One of the things we're going to talk about is how to gear your trading to your life, to your lifestyle, your personality, your family schedule. How that's the most important, one of the most important elements in trading is making sure that whatever you're doing fits you in every way that it can fit you. All right, before we get out of here, I need to update you on a couple of things on our live trades. So here on Bob had, I got in this trade yesterday. Let's zoom in. So we had our signal to go short yesterday on Euro Yen. Poof, today, we had a massive candle, not really any news I could think of, and our indicator flipped. What do I do? This is one of those rare situations I mentioned before, yesterday or the day before, that I don't meddle with my trades once I'm in them. I have a few hard rules that are the only ways in which I allow myself to have a trade exit by me clicking a button. This is one of them. If my main indicator flips the other way, I get out. So right here before your very eyes, Euro Yen. Got into it yesterday. I'm getting out right now. And that's probably 60% of my overall loss there. Let's see. So 300 and 300, so $600. So it's really literally 60%, as opposed to hitting a full. So it's 0.6% loss as opposed to a full 1% loss. I'm okay with that. Forrest, the robot, didn't take any trades last night. Probably will tonight. As you can see, we had a new signal to go short here on the 15-minute chart of gold. So we had these two new dots, and it would normally trigger there, but it's outside our time window. If we have the same touch of the 30 over here when our time window kicks in, we'll be in on that one. I showed you live trade here on Frank, my prop firm accounts. Showed you that prop firm account. Oh, the wheel strategy. Had asked about options. I only do one thing on options. We have my brother Pierre did a really good job last week showing his option strategies. They're fantastic. I just barely scratched the surface on options. What I have is the wheel strategy. I sell options for income. Right now, if this was March the 13th, as of today, I would be the proud owner of 500 shares of Plug. And I would turn around and start selling calls with it. But there's plenty of time. You don't react to what's going on here. And then lastly, Forrest. I think I've got Yes, I do. I managed to connect. I told you I would try. I managed to connect my Awanda account. One of the reasons I like Awanda is because everyone loves TradingView. TradingView is nice and easy. And if you open an account with Awanda or one of these other firms, you can connect your live account through to Awanda. So I've got the Swiss yen. Yeah, Swiss yen was a 2-hour chart trade that hit our take profit level yesterday. We're out. So that one was a win. And then we've got on the daily chart, we've got, I would love to trade more of Forest on the 1-hour chart. I just don't have time. Again, we're going to talk about that next week during the challenge. So as has been the case since January 28th, it's just kind of hanging around. The other one's Euro US. Euro US has lost all momentum. I don't know if I told you guys that I had an extra layer here on Forest and it was turned off. So Forest is actually the two moving averages that tell you entries and exits, but there's a filter. I have a longer period. This is a 200 HMA, and I only take trades in the direction of this longer period trend. So if price closes down here below the 200, I'm out. I'm not hanging around for this. I mean, we would have lost all upward momentum. So that is it for the trade updates. That's it for Frank. My point today was to show you that the skill of trading is interchangeable to market, to time frame, frankly, to strategy. The critical element standing between you and being a successful trader, anyone, me and anyone else, being a successful trader, consistency and discipline. Well, consistency builds discipline. It's just discipline. That's all it is. Planting our seeds and letting God be in charge of what happens. So that's it for today, guys. With that, I will see you all next time.